Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as you all are fully aware, Victor Wembanyama just recently said that they released a statement that he will no longer be playing any more games in Summer League. The San Antonio Spurs, that they're not going to require him to play any more games. I think that's a good thing. I think he had 2 exhibition games. He showed people what he had, and I don't think him playing any of those games is really going to matter. And number 2, I think he'll be better spending that time preparing and gearing up for the upcoming season. Now, here's an interesting thing about Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama, if I'm not mistaken, is 7'3" tall. 7'3". Now, the thing about him is that Victor Wembanyama is a very, very, very slim guy. At 7'3", he weighs about 210 or 209 pounds. To put that number into context, Michael Jordan, who was 6'6", at his playing weight, he played at about 215 to 220 pounds. LeBron at 6 foot, I want to say LeBron is 6'9". Now LeBron is he's a pretty unique case because he has that height, but he's extremely athletic and he's extremely fast, so he can move with a lot of weight. But LeBron James, as of last season, weighs 250 pounds or 113 kilograms at 6'9". So Victor Wembanyama, being 7'3", and essentially weighing 50 pounds or 40 pounds less than LeBron James, is startling. There are basically no two ways to say that. And a lot of people, like Stephen A. Smith and others, have urged him to put on some weight to be able to take the pounding, of the NBA game. Now, based on what I know from watching the NBA for quite some time, there's a few reasons why certain players put on weight, and there's some reasons why they lose weight. One of the reasons why players put on weight, especially when they come into the NBA, is to be able to not get pushed around by heavier and stronger guys. So you put on more weight, you put on more muscle, and that way you can be able to kind of be able to deal with the physicality of the game. That's the reason why you saw like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, who came into the NBA looking pretty much like Victor Wembanyama in terms of his skinny. Now, Victor's a little bit skinnier than Giannis, but Giannis was extremely skinny. And Giannis had to put on a lot more weight, which allowed him to play with more physicality, and he became a stronger guy. But then also I know for point guards, for example, back in the 2000s, which was a pretty physical era, guys would put on muscle, especially around their shoulders. Why? Because when they're going around screens, going through contact, when they get hit on their shoulders, they'll be able to absorb the hit. But and in the other cases, when you see guys getting older, the reason why they then take off, try to lose weight, you see players like Tim Duncan did it. You saw players like Kobe Bryant did it, Dirk Nowitzki. The reason they try to lose weight is because they try to reduce the amount of stress on their joints. So it's two different sets of philosophies there. But in the case of Victor Wembanyama, was doing some research, and I came across an article here from fadeawayworld.net that had some pretty startling information from his agent, where essentially his agent was saying that they're essentially fighting against Victor Wembanyama putting on any weight at all. But before we get into this article, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me just quickly get into this article here. Starts off with the headline. Victor Wembanyama's agent says they will fight to not put weight on his body. The hype surrounding Victor Wembanyama is unlike anything we've seen in a very long time. He has been hailed as a generational talent who could dominate the league for years to come. The one concern most have about him, though, is his skinny frame, and there have been calls for Wembanyama to bulk up. His agent, Bona Ndiaye, hope I got his name right, however, made it clear that will not be happening. That will not be happening during an interview with Mark Spears and Anscape. Did you see any issue here in Vegas? No, people are wrong, he said. We're not focused at all on weights. I don't want to put weights on his body. We're going to try to fight to not put weight on his body. Weight on his body is a big mistake. We focus on strength and core. We are very pleased that he linked up with Jabbar, who played until 41 years old. That's the path we want to take. It then continues on. I am very glad they connected because have a similar body type. He continues. Kareem was not heavy. Victor's more mobile, gaudier, and taller than Kareem. So the difference in height is a challenge and something that we're working on every day. Making him heavy, we don't want to do that. Now, that is a bit of a surprise. That is a bit of a surprise. The reason I'm saying that is because usually, again, as I said, when guys come into the NBA and they're very scrawny, they want to put on size. So to hear his agent say, no, we want to take a totally different approach and we want to focus on his strength. Well, it's going to be quite interesting because you can get strong, but based on my knowledge of strength training, you need to lift heavy things. You need to lift heavy things. So maybe they're going to find a way to get him to lift heavy weights without putting on any muscle, which would mean that he would be skinny. He'll still be strong, but he won't have any size, which means that he probably won't be eating enough. Or he'll be working out so much that it'll be burning into his muscle. So he'll be a very strong, skinny guy. There's another thing about it as well, which is he could have a lot of natural strength. People that had a lot of natural strength, historically, Steven Adams. They're not the bulkiest guys, but they had a lot of natural strength. You had Dennis Rodman, a lot of natural strength. You had Ron Artest, a lot of natural strength. You had Carmelo Anthony, a lot of natural strength. And then you have other guys that worked their way up to have that type of strength, like a Dwight Howard, who was extremely strong. Another person that I've heard is very strong is Kawhi Leonard. So maybe there are different ways you can train a body in order to get them to be very strong, but also kind of keep their body slender. I guess we'll see. But to me, it was a bit surprising to hear his agent take that position. So what I want to know from you guys is simply this. Are you surprised that Victor Wembanyama's agent is saying no, they're actually trying their best not to put on weight? And number two, what do you think? Do you think he should stay the same or try to find a way to bulk up a little bit? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments and we catch you on the next show.